Hi everyone, this is Teacher Roxanne and we are going to read Quests and Questions, A Path to Yourself by Robert Fuller. Now, you can already have an idea from the title itself. It's about asking questions to understand oneself. Let me read the background information for you. American physicist Robert Fuller studied at Princeton University, taught at Columbia University, and later served as president of Oberlin College. In this article, Fuller compares seeking knowledge to the quest of King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table. Arthur and his knights are important characters in medieval British literature. According to legend, the knights sought to live by a moral code called chivalry, which emphasized purity, loyalty, and acts of bravery, such as rescuing people in danger. The legendary quest by Arthur's knights continue to fascinate contemporary readers. Now, while you are reading, you have to identify ways that Fuller uses figurative language to develop his ideas. Here's an image of round table. Everyone sitting at the round table are considered equal. Fuller started his text with a statement. Every other mother in Brooklyn would ask her child after school, "So, did you learn anything today?" But not my mother. "Easy," she would say. "Did you ask a good question today?" So this is coming from Isidore Arabi. It is actually a norm today that parents usually ask questions like this. Did you learn anything or something today? But not this question. It's actually rare. Did you ask good questions today? What's the difference between the two? Let us find out later. Now, what's the main idea of the text? It is asking question is vital for self-enlightenment. And there is a representation here. A dragon represents questions. Now, I want you to read the text coming from your student anthology, pages 404 to 410. And I will assume that you are done with it. Now, let us have the summary of the text. The author emphasizes questioning as a chivalric act like knights in round table. Asking questions can be tough, and we can be ignored and criticized because of our queries. But the author claimed that the risk is worthy. The author also claimed that good questions are better than good answers as they keep on proliferating. Once you get a good answer and stop the quest, you will also stop exploring. Lastly, it is stated that an answer must explain behavior rather than criticizing it. Prejudice illuminates revenge, but examining leads to modification of the behavior. Let me present several questions included in the text. Here they are. Why do we seek a partner? Why do we hate goodbyes? What is the source of indignity? Who are the somebodies and nobodies? Next one. Who am I? What is intelligence? What is genius? What is enlightenment? What happens to us after we die? What shall I do with the rest of my life? Are people the same the world over? Why are we fascinated by celebrities? Why are we drawn to mystery? Must love end? Why do we get bored? Why is it hard to admit we are wrong? Why are we lazy? Next questions are, why do we like to travel? Why do we want to be rich or famous? Why are we skeptical of do-gooders? Why do we lie, exaggerate, or hate? Why are we prejudiced? It is better if you are going to answer several questions here. It may help you identify or describe yourself. After reading the text, let us answer close reading questions coming from your textbook. First question is, what are the best gifts the author has received and why? Can you think about it? Okay, let us have the answer. According to the author, the questions that he couldn't shake off are the best gifts that he has received because they give him purpose in life. These questions are also energizing. Those who learn to notice and follow their questions never get old. Next question. What does the author mean when he says what's required for individual and social well-being is dignity for all? What's your answer? Please write it in your notebook or in the website. The answer is, he means that if we don't treat others with respect, we may end up condemning their behavior rather than trying to understand what causes it. This reinforces the behavior rather than enabling us to change it. Next question. Why does the author say that there are no right answers, only right pursuit? What's the answer? Okay. The answer is the author believes that the process of asking questions and seeking answers is more important in the quest for self-discovery than the answers themselves. Remember, on these questions, you can have your own opinions. Let us move on to critical reading questions. Let us have number 1, and let us compare. Reread the first 4 paragraphs of the article. Letter A. What comparison does Fuller make between questioning and medieval quest? Cite details from the article in your answer. Do you have an idea about letter A? Okay. So in letter A, Fuller says that questioning is as risky and demanding as chivalry questing used to be. Individuals searching for answers may have to endure loneliness, criticism, and disrespect. However, like chivalry questing, the act of questioning is rewarding because it can still take you to the ends of the earth or teach you something you did not know before. How about letter B? How does this analogy or comparison help readers understand the importance of questioning? Do you have an answer? Okay, that's great. Letter B. This analogy helps readers understand that questioning may be just as difficult and rewarding as medieval quest. Moving on to question number 2. Letter A. What does Fuller mean when he says most questions come uninvited or whispered, not shouted? Fuller means that usually we don't consciously try to think of questions. Instead, they occur to us unexpectedly. How about letter B? Why might a question come to a person uninvited? Can you think about it? Letter B. Having an unexpected experience or learning new information may cause us to think of questions that hadn't occurred to us before. Let me present several questions included in the text. Here they are. Why do we seek a partner? Why do we hate goodbyes? What is the source of indignity? Who are the somebodies and nobodies? Next one. Who am I? What is intelligence? What is genius? What is enlightenment? What happens to us after we die? What shall I do with the rest of my life? Are people the same the world over? Why are we fascinated by celebrities? Why are we drawn to mystery? Must love end? Why do we get bored? Why is it hard to admit we are wrong? Why are we lazy? Let us move on and infer or interpret the excerpt or part that I will provide here. At the end of the article, Fuller says your own questions will announce themselves to you if you let them. What can you infer from this statement about asking questions? Can you think about it? Okay, number 4 answer can be asking questions about your identity, your place in the world, and life in general is challenging and difficult. For this reason, it may feel safer or easier not to pursue such a quest. According to Fuller, however, if you are not willing to ask tough questions, they won't come to you. Next one. Number 5. Do you see the same value as Fuller does in asking questions? Explain your reasoning. You can have different answers about or opinion about this one. So, one example is, yes, I see the same value in asking questions as Fuller does. We learn new things about ourselves and the world around us by finding answers to our questions. I think exploring questions, as Fuller encourages, is a quest worth pursuing. Now, I want you to read the text coming from your student anthology, pages 404 to 410. And I will assume that you are done with it. Now, let us have the summary of the text. The author emphasizes questioning as a chivalric act like knights in round table. Asking questions can be tough, and we can be ignored and criticized because of our queries. But the author claimed that the risk is worthy. The author also claimed that good questions are better than. Here is an excerpt coming from the text. The Knights of the Round Table sought a quest and then lived it, to the ends of the earth. Through their quest, Arthur's knight forged their identities. Their quests inspire and guide us as we recapitulate in our own lives their character-building trials. Today, quests come to us as questions. Now let us identify the metaphor used here. Medieval quest tales were about knights who went on long character-building journeys in pursuit of unobtainable goals. Now, the author compares this quest to the process of asking and answering questions. This extended metaphor suggests that a thoughtful quest can lead us to learn more about the world and ourselves. This time, I want you to open your literary companion on pages 264 to 265. On this page, you are going to read the third and fourth paragraphs of Quests and Questions, then identify two metaphors in these paragraphs. Enter them in the boxes below and then explain what they mean. I will provide the metaphors used in these paragraphs, but you are going to identify where we compared it to, and then you're going to explain it. The first one is a knight slaying a dragon. Where do you think we compare this to? And then explain the metaphor. The second one is our path or the path we are following. And where do you think the author compared it to? Then I want you to explain again your answer. Let us have number 2. Read the excerpt from Quests and Questions, explain the metaphor, and tell whether the words have positive or negative connotations. Let us have the excerpt. Pursuing a question may still take you to the ends of the earth. Rarely do the earnest attempts to answer well-formulated questions not yield at least a taste of enlightenment. Let me give you an insight. Can you look at this picture? It seems like he is waiting for something. It means that asking question might take time, or our answers might take time. Okay, that refers to our first question. Pursuing a question may still take you to the ends of the earth. Now, do you think it is positive or negative? We have several words used here, such as earnest. Right? Now, I want you to identify the connotation. One more thing is enlightenment. Last activity. In Quest and Questions, asking questions is compared to a medieval quest. Think of another metaphor for asking and answering questions that conveys the same idea and write it below. Now, on this part, you can have different ideas, different representations. But I will give you an example. Look at this image. Asking questions is a search for buried treasure. It is difficult, but if you persist, you will be rewarded with great riches. Remember, you can have different answers. Okay? So that will be all for our literature class. I hope that you understand the text. Have a nice day, everyone!